Please click here to like this video. Your comments are welcome. Subscribe to get new videos. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about generic modeling. Okay, we're going to talk about generic modeling, and in generic modeling, it's like not generic modeling, but modeling features in place. Okay, so I've just named it generic modeling because probably you may not be able to pin it to a particular model or maybe a model type. So, for example, we can model in place column. Maybe table or walls and other stuff, but sometimes you may not be able to pin it down to a particular name, so we call those ones generic models. And most of the stuff which we have in the Revit, we model it using that generic means. So let's see the options available to us. Okay, and then we'll try extrusion and sweep, because those ones are usually for the external models. Okay, external generic models. The rest that we will look at, I will discuss that very soon. Those ones will be for modeling of objects. Okay, so those ones can be in when we are doing component modeling. So let's come straight and then discuss some of the things that we can do ahead of time. So if we pick this model we have here, we have windows here, and sometimes you have moldings around the windows. Okay, so we'll learn how to use the simplest method, and then also sometimes in your roof, the parapet, you see some molding around it. How do you get all these things done? Okay, and then maybe your archway like this, you can also have a model, very simple model, nicely moldings around it. Okay, that makes it so beautiful. We can even use that method to also model some components, but let's hit the ground running. Okay, so let's first start with extrusion. So it's an architecture, then you come to components. See, placement of components is like placing your furniture, placing your other stuff, but in case you don't have them in your in case you don't have those models in Revit, you can download them online. But in situations where you have to model some of them in place, because most of the time you model some of these features in place. Okay, so we'll use that method to close up some of these discussions that we have. So when you have model in place, it means you have that profile or you have that component in your library you want to load. But when you come to model in place, it means you want to have it created. Look at some of the things that you can create. You can create casework, ceiling, column, doors, electrical equipment, electrical fixtures. So these are all stuff that you can do. Okay, these are all stuff that you can do. You can create your windows and other stuff. So when you have a wall and you want to create windows in there, you can use this model in place component and design that. It comes out nicely. Okay, but let's say we are not so sure of where to put the moldings around here. I'm not so sure where because you see, when if I pick a wall, it means that I want to model a wall hosted element, so that when I finish it is hosted by the wall. If you have roofs, it means I want to do something that can be hosted by the roof, or something that surrounds roof, or probably when I do floor, something that ought to be placed on floors or hosted by floors and stuff like that. Let's choose generic model for our case, okay, and start the whole process with. So I select generic models, then I click OK. It gives me a name, generic model 1. Okay, what do we call this? What we're going to do, let's call it window, or better still, let's just accept let's just accept the name, the generic model. Let's just accept it. Okay, just accept it. And so we have extrusion, we have blend. In fact, look at the symbols. If you look at extrusion, it means you may have a particular face and give it an offset or depth. Okay, so if you have the column section down, you can have the depth and it will extrude up. blend, you may have different shapes, and then it will then the top and the bottom will blend. Revolve, when you want to draw something in around an axis, okay, then revolve works. Okay, so you first have to have your axis, and then you draw your model around it, and then you revolve around it. So it goes around some kind of a radial 360. So you have to determine the extent to which you can go. When it comes to sweep, it means whatever modeling you have, you first define the path, and then after defining the path, you sketch the profile, and then it sweeps around it. You have sweep blend, where you have different sections, and then you sweep, like you select the two and try to sweep it up. So we'll discuss extrusion, as I've said, and then we do something about sweep. Then the rest, when we start designing components in the room, we will come up with our blend, our revolve, and then our swept blend. So let's start with extrusion. So one of the foremost things that you must consider is that, you see, when you come to extrude, you must have a work plane. It's very important because I can't draw in space. I have to determine the plane of the wall where I want to do my stuff. So let's start it straight away and see here. So I want to work around this window. So I come to set work plane. I pick my plane here. I say, okay, this is my plane. Okay. If you want to see or show your work plane, this is what you do. You come to show, and you get it here. You see, the face of my work plane is showing, is indicated. Okay, understand nicely. So I can hide it so that it doesn't really, so that it doesn't really distract what I'm doing. It will not distract it, but it may confuse. The lines may be too much on my screen to confuse. So we come to, let's say, south elevation, and this is my window. So I'm facing it right head on. So I pick extrusion. Oh, I have done that already. So my model is here. Yeah, so I click on create. Okay, so finish model. Let's cancel it and then get it done this time. Okay, so I set my work plane, pick the work plane, I pick the face, I pick the face of the window. Show. Okay, so it's indicating. Okay. Component model in place. Generic model. Okay. Then now I go to the face. So I pick extrusion. I can hide this one off. I pick extrusion. I can go to the front view where I feel I want my model. So front is my south. Then I select it. I want to do a very simple rectangle. So I draw this here. And then let me pick an offset of about let's say 200 around it. My depth, I want the depth to be, say, 150, something very small. Okay, and it will project from the work plane which I set. So I come around, I have something here, something here. I trim the top. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so we are going to have this model at the depth that we indicated, and then it comes straight up. So I finished my outline. The depth is going to be 150. I say finish model. So I can go to the 3D, and that is my model. That's my generic model. Okay, nicely done. So if you want to do that on the windows at the top, curve them and do all those stuff, it is easy to do. You don't have any challenge. So probably let's try it one more time for the extrusion. and then that should be enough. So generic model, we still keep our work plane there, model 2. Let's go to the south elevation. Okay, so I pick my so the plane is not okay, so I'm in. Okay, so the plane is not visible. Let's show it. Let's cancel it. Alright, the first one is awesome. Okay, so that is an example of the so that's an example of the extrusion. Now let's try something else here. So we have some molding around here too, which we would like to probably do some molding around. Okay, now we've tried our hands on extrusion, and it would be easy if we should pick an extrusion from this point. Okay, it's very easy. It's just going to be attached to it. Instead of, sometimes you have people drawing a wall in front of this existing wall and then try to shape it to fit it. You can use simple extrusion. So let's say we can model in place. Let's choose our generic model. So generic model 2. Can we pick a plane? Pick a plane. I want to have this plane, this face. Okay, so I want to have that plane, and then now pick my extrusion. Okay, so I have to go to that side of it, which is my west side. I have this building blocking me, but don't worry, I'll do my wireframe, then I have the outline. So I'm not so bothered where I am because it is going to be featured on my work plane. So I can come in here, pick my outline, get my offsets. Let's offset 300. So yeah. Okay, so we have this extrusion here. The depth is 150. When I finish my model, I finish my my extrusion, and then I say finish model. When I go to 3D, you see it clearly. Okay, so these are extrusion systems or models that you can run. Okay, and it's easy and beautiful.
Please click here to like this video. Your comments are welcome. Subscribe to get new videos.